This video focuses on the structure of the EMIS Web Care Record and is the first in a series of videos which describe the separate modules within the care record. From the home page, there are a variety of ways to access the summary. For example, if you have your system configured for these shortcuts, use the summary option in the Quick Launch menu, use the icon in the Quick Access toolbar, or go to the EMIS ball and select Care Record. You can also configure and use options from the Quick Launch menu and the Quick Access toolbar to go directly to specific subsections of the care record. For example, we have shortcuts here for medication, consultations and investigations, and these could also be added to the Quick Access toolbar. I'm going to pick Summary from the Quick Launch menu and find my dummy patient. As soon as you've selected a patient, the Précis bar will appear at the top of the page, which contains details of the active patient. Any module of the EMIS system that you access now will relate to the patient shown in the Précis bar. Note that it will be a different colour according to the status of the patient: blue for active patients, red for deceased, brown for temporary residents or private patients, and grey for inactive patients. A more in-depth look at the Précis bar is covered in another video which focuses specifically on that feature. Notice the tabs across the top of the care record, which you can use to navigate to the different subsections. As you can see, the options in the ribbon change depending on the care record section you're in. There is some standardisation. For example, the options to add, edit or delete always appear on the far left of the ribbon in every care record section. The summary section can be viewed in 4 different configurations. The default is the plain summary view, which we see here. There are also 3 standard options for a cardiac view, a child health view, and a diabetic view. These are views that are pre-configured by EMIS to display data specific to those specialties. At organisation level, it is possible to create your own clinical views and tailor the sections that are displayed within that view. You can set a different view to be your default within the Care Record Config module, which is described in a different video that covers how to configure your EMIS system. We will leave our view as summary for this video. Notice the options to add, edit and delete, which appear to the left of most of the care record ribbons. The options are demonstrated in other videos that look specifically at managing data in the patient's record. Here we're focusing on finding and viewing data on a patient's record. Each section of the care record has different ribbon options, although some are quite common across many or all of the care record sections. Export produces an XML summary. This is rarely needed and therefore not included in detail in this video. The sharing option enables you to explicitly record whether a patient consents to sharing their detailed care record with other organisations outside of their practice. The sharing consent can be changed at any time. The print options vary slightly from section to section, but the core functionality here is that they enable you to print a version of the care record from just a basic summary with or without attachments to a full summary with or without attachments. It's also possible to create a user-defined summary where you have the control over which parts of the patient's record are included or excluded from the summary. The bottom section of the print options list enables you to create and use links to other documents, for example, mail merge forms that you have created in the EMIS word processor. Most of the sections contain a browse or search option in the ribbon. This gives you access to the EMIS Mentor online resource, where you can look up combinations of symptoms, for example. Lastly, you can manage fit notes for the patient using this option in the ribbon, although creating fit notes cannot be done here. That is done in consultation mode. Before we take a closer look at each of the different tabs in the care record, I'll just point out the Hide Ribbon menu option in the top right-hand corner. Once selected, the ribbon bar is hidden and the icon itself is replaced with a new icon to be used to show ribbon. This is useful, for example, if you have a full record to look at and want to optimise the screen space available. Now let's take a look at the contents of the care record summary page before I point you in the direction of the other videos that will look at each of the other care record sections. The summary section populates automatically based on the data that's added to the patient's record. You can add data from the summary page which will automatically be filed into the correct location within the care record, but only information that is classed as summary information will be displayed on this screen. The Add options are described in a separate module for coding and adding data to patients' records. Notice that if your practice has sharing agreements in place with other practices or other systems, the Shared Data Navigator panel will be on the left-hand side. You can configure your system to automatically have that panel open by accessing the CR config module, which will be described in another video. The content of the summary is displayed in the defined sections, and these sections can be expanded using the double arrow icon in the top right of each section and collapsed using the rectangular icon that this changes into. Notice that in the header for each section you have an indication of the total number of items in that section, which will generally be more than is displayed in this summary view, because this view will only, for example, show active and significant past problems, not minor past problems. Quaff alerts will appear in the pink pop-up boxes in the bottom right-hand corner. Hovering over each entry here gives you more information, and double-clicking each item will enable you to complete the required information capture by taking you to a data entry template, for example. Finally, as with other EMIS screens, you'll notice a set of quick links to your Workflow Manager inboxes, along with an indication of how many items there are in each box. Anything showing in red means the item is marked as urgent. You can move straight to that workflow inbox using these links at any time. Although the summary is a useful overview of the patient's record, the full detail of the record will be found in each of the Care Record tabs. These are each extensive modules in their own right, so to keep these videos realistically bite-sized, we've created separate videos for each Care Record tab. So I recommend looking at the following videos in the rest of this course.